Hello, and welcome to the final session of our Planar Spring series of SIG Manual of the Primes. Yes, here with three players today. Honeysuckle is in jail, so, that's what happens. But we're going to start off here with Ellen. So who are you playing?
I am playing Talon the Crafty. She is a Fireheart who imbues alchemy into pottery that she creates.
Yes. So I think we'll probably see a little bit more of her this session. See what's up with her, what her beliefs are all about. All right, and next we've got Lou. Who are you playing?
I'm playing Knerd the Bloodshot. He's I guess he's some sort of strange bard. He has blue skin and 4 arms and a mohawk, and he has an awesome quadruple-necked oud that he plays. And he can, he's an empath that can kind of, I guess, he's empathic himself, but he can also, is it still empathic? I guess there's, I don't know what the word is, but when you can also broadcast emotions, super empath.
Two-way empath.
Yeah, he's one of those. Yeah, another interesting feature of him, I guess, is the god or spiritual thing that he's connected to, which is about quenching pain, like severing people from the pain that they're feeling.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that last session, right?
Yeah, I kind of like that. It's a bit evil. And seemed kind of strangely self-interested in that he's shushing the emotions around him that make him feel uncomfortable. Like,
yes,
it's actually quite interesting. I kind of know people that are a bit like that. Not in terms of stopping you from feeling it, but not allowing it to, you to express or to have those emotions in a public forum. Especially stereotypically for men, I guess. Like, no crying aloud. Makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we'll maybe get into a little bit more of that conflict for the character today. And Maria, who are you playing?
Worst boy.
Does he have a name?
His name is Algebra of the Written Word, but yes, he is just worst boy.
Also known as that fucker.
Also known as that fucker, and the reason he's in jail right now for more reasons than one.
Yes. Okay, so in the last session, just to give a quick recap, the vampire Castafiel was found dead. We established that he was murdered by Honeysuckle. Algavar's father, whose name was...
Well, one of his fathers.
Yes. Yes. The one that we are interested in.
The one that is a parent, not really a father, because gender.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they were manifesting in a masculine way when we saw them. But this was Mazis. Mazis accused Honeysuckle of murder, and there was an investigation. Knerd helped to sort of empathically figure out what happened. And we learned that, yes, in fact, Honeysuckle did murder Castafiel. Then we had a flashback scene where we sort of learned something about why Honeysuckle murdered Castafiel. And it was because that fucker, Algavar, basically compelled Honeysuckle into doing it. So that's kind of what's been going on, and we'll see now that Honeysuckle is in jail and Algavar is not in jail. we'll see something about what happens. So I want to start by going over each character's beliefs and talents. So can we... What's going on here? Roll20 is not giving me any character sheets. That's interesting.
I have mine.
Okay, well, please read off your character sheet because I cannot see any of the character sheets.
Rip. So my beliefs are: true love is a trick of the mind. Information is the sword that gives the weak. All hopes and dreams are self-interested. My talents are: broad talents are light and time. Common talents are prediction, deciphering magic, and half-truths. And deep talents are starlight sword and leyline usage.
Yes. We did see the ley line usage in the last session, and also the half-truths, right? Yeah. Okay, so what about Knerd? What's Knerd got going on there?
So Nerd has everyone has good inside of them, which is kind of a cultural belief. We kind of established that he's from an entire planet of empathic bards.
Yeah.
The political belief is all conflicts can be resolved through the influence of the arts, which we've seen him kind of enact in the last session with being a kind of mediator, I guess, and kind of a judge a little bit in some ways. Slash expert witness.
Yeah, exactly. It's like less a judge and more like an expert witness.
Yeah, like a secondary source, but primary source witness through the empathic stuff. And the spiritual belief is that all pain must be quenched, that comes through the worship of Umalaub the Tranquil.
Yes. And what about your talents?
They're mainly all about music, drinking, and storytelling, and a little bit about barroom brawling.
Okay. All right. And Ellen, can you tell us about your character's beliefs and traits or talents? Sorry.
I'd like to put on the record here that I was the first one to use the word quenched in this game. So just in case our viewers at home, the two viewers at home, get sick of hearing the word quenched, you have Luke to blame for that, not me. He jumped on the quenching bandwagon. Anyway,
so does your character have the power of suggestion? Is that one of your talents?
Well, clearly, I'll mark that down. Yes, no. Talon believes that family is a fire that needs to be quenched.
Quenched.
Art has its place regardless of its quenchedness. No, of its price. Sorry. And loss is beautiful and makes us strong. So the talents that I have, broad is passion, minor alchemy, and connected. Common is customer-wise and street-wise. And deep is burning hands and alchemical kintsua. Did I say that right? Kintsua? Anyway, yes.
Okay. Cool. So, all right. I am going to grab my notebook because I think I have my my smoke and my spark written on there, and that's pretty important. But yeah, just take a look at the sheet that we've set up of the planar beliefs and the character beliefs and think about what you want to do going into the next scene. I'll be back momentarily.
We'll just sit here and talk about quenching.
Quenching is a weird word. Like, it sounds weird. Quench.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, most words end up sounding weird if you just say them over and over again. But I guess the the qu and the ch together are a strange, like.
I mean, it's not. It doesn't sound as bad as moist.
Yeah,
yeah,
moist.
but it's on that same vein, isn't it?
Moist.
It is on the same vein. Yes,
yeah, moist kind of that like the onomatopoeic thing. Like it sounds moist. Sounds sticky. I reckon.
Quench the moist.
Quench kind of does have the quench the moistness. Quench does kind of have that like onomatopoeic thing of like putting a like
water
sword
over
into like metal into a like hot metal into water or something.
Totally.
Quench. Yeah. Yeah, I was just
welcome to Sigmatial the Primes, a game about quenching and all connotations, denotations, applications, characteristics of the word quench.
www.quenching.com. But I do like that, like I was just saying in the chat, how it's got that double thing of like satisfying the thirst, like quenching your thirst, but extinguishing, like, you know, totally destroying something, or as well. It's kind of interesting. Quench etymology.
Yeah, that's the next thing. What weird German word did quenching come from? All right. So I'm at 9 influence. That's good to know. Well, I can't do a reflection, but I can be a part of all your reflections, so that's nice.
It's actually from Old English, but it is Germanic in origin.
Yes. Thank you for informing our viewers the etymology of quenching.
I mean, I just Googled it for the sake of it. I can't even say that word. Swenkan. I don't Swenkan.
Okay, and
this is quality viewing, isn't it?
Oh, it's so good. Like, look at Kyle look through a notebook while
we talk about
everything about quenching.
I think we might increase the viewership to at least like 3.
It's totally going to go viral.
Actually, we did have significantly more than 3 viewers for the first episode.
5?
No, it was more like, I think it was closer to like 20-ish.
Whoa.
How do you get that many viewers?
Because Jason
has 10 accounts.
Wow. Throwing some shade. No, he shared the game with people and they watched it, so that's nice.
Okay. I wish people shared my games to watch them.
Well, he wrote the game, so
well, true, but
Proto-Germanic Quonkyun.
I like how much it sounds like a word from like nerds. Like French sounds like something from nerds like language.
Nerds
like
brothers,
the other
totally
name like nude. Yeah, like nude. I've got all those like like double consonant like Kwangchun is Knud's middle name. Knud Kwangchun.
Let's do a scene here, people. Let's do it.
We need to roll for that.
We sure do. So everybody's gonna roll smoke.
Oh, finally, I roll shit in my smoke stat, which should be shit.
Oh yeah, that's right. This Honeysuckle's not here anymore, and they had that really high smoke stat. So.
Oh hey, I get to roll off with Nerd.
Ooh, I go second. Okay, so as we discussed, in order to do our scene,
Oh, right. Nerd, you do it.
Yeah, first we are going to go with the platform, tilt, or question. So who wants to? So Knerd, do you want the platform, the tilt, or the question?
Why does Knerd get to?
I think I won third place.
Yeah, he won third place. We were rolling out 3 times because we got once the first one. We got twice. 2. We tied twice, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, cool.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, so the actual order is me first.
No, me first. I am the winner.
Oh, right, you are. Yes. Okay. So you first, and then me, and then Knerd. Okay.
All right.
You guys are just lucky that I don't get to pick.
Yes, we need to keep you off the setting as long as we can.
I mean, my smoke is like the worst out of all of us. I'm surprised that I actually got 2 scenes in a row, like first and second or something.
Yeah.
Would you like the question? Would you like the tilt?
I would like the platform.
You would like the platform. Okay. Okay, and I will take the question, of course.
So Knerd gets the tilt.
Yeah. And Knerd takes the tilt. Okay, so as we've established, there is an order to this. So I believe that means that Ellen, you are going first. You set the platform.
We are in the marketplace. Let me just see.
Find a place in SIG that is relevant.
Yes. Let's.
The Bazaar?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, let's go to the Bazaar.
Okay.
And it is, let's say it is after Honeysuckle has been sentenced to death for the murder.
Oh my god, I had a perfect question for that one. I had a perfect question for that one. I am so salty right now.
Yeah, what form of execution was used on Honeysuckle? We need to discover that.
Yeah, don't let Worst Boy have the question.
Worst Boy doesn't get anything, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, right now the Worst Boy doesn't get anything.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about, now that we have the time and place, we're going to move on to the tilt. So that is Knerd's go, right?
So this is how does the tilt work without a question?
Well,
it's what makes the characters act.
Yes, it's the inciting event.
And so sorry, so we've got the place.
Yeah, we got the place, we got the time.
And so the time is, when was the time again? Sorry, Ellen.
After Honeysuckle has been sentenced.
After the sentence, not the execution.
Yeah, not the execution, no.
So, how do I phrase the tilt?
Okay, so it says, as the person choosing the tilt, you use 2 to 3 sentences to describe what event or action forces PCs to interact with the scene. You can guide the types of actions encouraged in the scene. You can promote situations that will challenge multiple beliefs or make a situation that is appropriate for a specific character's talents. Regardless, the tilt must be logical and consistent with the platform. So, for example, if the platform is, you stand in a filthy alley in the hive, reeking of spilled beer and infested with green slimes. The tilt could be, a small child runs out of a doorway, sobbing loudly and clutching a stuffed dragon toy. So something that happens, right? Something that makes us interact with the scene. So, like, whoa, what happened?
I kind of want to see something that's like still related to Honeysuckle, like that there's maybe what's the what factions and that is Honeysuckle connected to?
Honeysuckle is the Heralds, which is actually the same faction as Maziz.
That's true.
Yeah, and Honeysuckle also follows the same
Religion.
Ludra of the Frozen Tears as I do.
Mm-hmm.
What's the story with Eludra again?
We can never forget the names of the dead.
Better
And
get
so
ready to
then-
remember the name Honeysuckle.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so then there's that other base who has to remember all the names.
Look,
Yeah.
Did we meet them in the last?
yeah,
we did in
yeah.
the first scene.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to see I want to see some sort of like religious like procession / protest thing about honeysuckles, like declaring honeysuckles innocent. So I think there's some sort of like gathering, or like it's kind of like 1/3 parade, 1/3 riot, and 1/3 like performance or something. Like it's this like there's people who are against whatever the sentence has been, and it's in the middle of the bazaar. They're like, I think it's a multi-factional group.
Okay.
But probably something to do with the Eludra.
All right. Let me
Maybe there's no more room for names. Maybe honeysuckle is too complex a name. There's already one honeysuckle in remembrance.
Yeah, it was making me think of that actually. Like, you know, there's like some Indigenous Australian people, you can't use somebody's name when they're passed away. You just have to stop using their name. But they often, if there's somebody else named that, they need to be like renamed.
Okay, it's like namespace pollution problems.
Like, and there's actually a super famous Indigenous Australian who has passed away now, but you're allowed. His family has said you can use his name. He became famous when he had the name that they use as this place filler. So he was called Mandawai. It means no name. And then he got heaps famous when he was using the no name, and now they had to make up a new name, like as the no name.
Oh wow!
When he passed away, yeah. Anyway, sidetracks, but that's what I think of.
This is the thing programmers deal with on a daily basis, right? Okay, so I'm asking the question. And I want to hit your beliefs, so I'm going to take a look at these. So I'm going to ask the question: is the demonstration more valuable than the outcome? So is the event that Honeysuckle's sentencing provoked more important than what happens to Honeysuckle? That's what I'm interested in here. Because it's caused this huge hubbub, right? This kind of performance that has brought all these factions together. So I want to just give you a brief description of the bazaar so we know where we are, and then we'll start playing. Here we go. So the bazaar is the largest marketplace in SIG, where merchants and traders often offer countless wares to those with coin to spend. In the quiet of the early morning, the merchants prepare their wares, share fine tea, and gossip shamelessly. This camaraderie swiftly ends when the first customers trickle in and the traders look upon their prey. The constant roar of the crowds are punctuated by the sounds of clever banter, outrageous claims, and enthusiastic haggling. It's a collection of dozens of tiny merchant stalls, blankets displaying wares, and traditional enclosed shops. The purveyors of more dubious wares established themselves on the rickety wooden boardwalks that overlook it all. Everyone comes to the bazaar looking for something. A house husband looks for some root vegetables and sultry spices for a special dinner. A planar explorer seeks silk rope in preparation for a new venture. A orphan desperately longs for that doll to keep her company on those painfully long nights. Primal wizards haggle for fey tears while light-fingered specters lift their spell books. This place has something for almost everyone, albeit at a steep price. And yeah, so now we'll move on to actually playing out the scene. So we're going to move into the collaboration phase. And I think I need to declare what character, or everybody needs to declare what characters they're playing.
Algebar. Force boy.
Okay, Algebar is going to be around. Are the rest of you playing your characters?
Yeah, Talon's going to be there. Mm-hmm. I was also going to suggest that Loki, the keeper of the names, should be there, but they're probably in a like an enclosed, darkened carriage, so they don't get overloaded from the stimulus of the the gathering. That needs to be there in case like someone dies.
Yeah, I see the problem with that idea being are they going to talk to anybody else?
I'm imagining sort of like there's some sort of like airlock on the like one person can come in there, like a confessional in a carriage, so somebody can come in and communicate with them.
Okay.
Like a 2-half carriage sort of thing.
Well, I would say maybe I mean, I think that could be a really good scene, but I think maybe in that case I would propose that this is a scene just between Loki and Talon in the carriage watching the procession go by. Because then, you know, it makes fictional sense. We're in there together. You can only have one other person in there. They're both watching what's happening. But if we want to have everybody in the scene, I would rather have, you know, it start with Loki stepping out of the carriage or something like that.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. I want to see everyone involved.
Okay.
So I think that makes more sense.
All right. So as the GM, I get to sort of frame the scene here a little bit. So I will be playing Loki, obviously. And I'm just going to double check what they're all about. Loki. Eidetic memory, organized, and hypersensitive. Okay, and I'm going to frame. So at the beginning of each scene, the GM gets the first opportunity to make a statement or a declaration. Okay. So I think that we see the scene start. There's the procession moving through the bazaar, and the merchants are all very upset. Like, they're not happy about this interruption of business, because it's like, you can't move from stall to stall and get your daily shopping done when there's this huge flood of people moving through the center of the bazaar, right? So they're all upset. They're all like standing in their stalls with their arms crossed, or like drinking some cold tea and just like looking really miserable, or like throwing things at the protesters and telling them to buzz off. And I think we see the carriage. It's like probably all black with like a sort of like tear motif painted on the outside of it. And we see Loki in their normal robes. I don't know. Did we establish Loki's pronouns? I don't think we did. So we'll just say they're in their robes. They've got their veil on, and they have the assistant who is leading them out into the marketplace. And I think they turn towards Talon, yes, and they say, well, all of this has certainly created quite an event.
I've not seen so many different factions in the same place at the same time. It is unusual.
Yes, and it's all very remarkable. A death or a sentence of death usually goes unremarked in a city like this. Only the rich and mighty get this kind of attention, and yet we see so many from so many walks of life come together in anger.
Maybe it's the time of Aludra. Maybe it is time for everyone to feel her frozen tears.
Perhaps. Seems unclear to me. The honeysuckle is not yet among the dead. They are not yet lost. These protesters, they're revolting against the prospect of honeysuckle being lost to us. I'm not sure if they stand with Aludra or against her.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Why did you come here today?
I came because I was unsure. I came to witness. I came because in my memory, all of those who are lost and all that is lost is beautiful and equal. And yet, this one seems to be different for other people in this city.
What was the question again? Sorry, because we forgot to put it on the...
Is the demonstration more valuable than the outcome?
Yeah, I'm friends with Honeysuckle, and like their contribution to the world is valid, but yes, I don't see why her name is more valuable than anyone else's.
Indeed. So then maybe the connection then is not so important. Maybe
I think at this point Algebar shows up and gives like gives Talan a huge pat on the back, like harder than usual, and he's gonna use his ritual without spending any influence. So
can you tell us what that is?
Anyone struck by the foretelling blow will be giving a prophetic dream by the GM when they next rest. If you choose not to spend one influence, the dream will be a prophetic nightmare instead.
Okay.
Oh my god, worst boy!
Yep.
Are you all right,
Honeysuckle's not here, so Talan cops it. No? Talan's strong. She's strong.
No, like he asks you, are you okay?
Oh. Oh. Good to see you, Algabar. Jeez. What are you doing here?
I'm sorry, I eavesdropped a bit on the conversation.
Oh, what are you doing here?
I was here to check things out. But apparently there's a lot going on.
Elgabar, you were closely involved in all of this. What are your thoughts on this demonstration? It's very unusual.
I think it's a harbinger of things to come.
What sort of things?
I do not know yet.
Oh, I see. Well, perhaps then the murder of Castafiel and the sentencing of Honeysuckle have created something greater than either of them.
I think maybe at this point there's like this, like on camera we can see those characters still like trying to talk, but the din of the like the procession is getting kind of crazy, and we see like Nerd come into view kind of in the middle of all of it, and he's very tall, like I think maybe his like neck and like his neck and head are like sticking out above most of the crowd, and he's playing his instrument in this like kind of supporting this this protest march kind of thing. But I think as he passes, you see his like his neck, maybe it even turns, or he's passing and his neck kind of like comes like all the way around as he notices the three there in conversation. And I was thinking it might be interesting, seeing as I've got the empath thing, to ask what each of the like characters, like what the main emotion is that they're radiating.
Is that a ritual you have?
Not really, but I'm thinking it's something. My only ritual is that I can remove. I guess it's a I don't know. I probably should have added empathy as an actual talent.
I'm actually not gonna contest that. If you want to contest that, go ahead. So.
Yeah, I just thought it would be. It's something I've established that I can do.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I will go along with it. But yeah, it basically you can say that, you know, Knerd uses their empathy to listen to the emotions of each of the three characters. And you know, if we don't want to reveal that, we can contest it.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do some sort of roll to see whether Knerd actually picks up on it. Like, but I thought
there's
it would
no
be.
Roll.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a roll.
I don't think that Loki would be hiding at this point, because I think that they're in a very sort of open and confused state of mind. I think that they're trying to. I mean, I think that's the conclusion they've come to, is that there is something greater about this event than Honeysuckle. That's the position that they've come to. And so they feel very conflicted about that.
What are the conflicting emotions?
So I think on the one hand, it's like they're impressed by the size and rarity of the demonstration, and then that sort of like statement by Algabar that like, oh, the future, like there's something coming, this is portentous. And then on the other hand, their duty to like honor and value everyone who passes, right? So like their tenets of their religion are in conflict with what they're seeing in front of their eyes. So that's
it's like a discomfort, but like
exactly. It's like confusion and discomfort, or like the feeling
like
you would get.
unease about like being excited about it, like it's something maybe they shouldn't be excited about.
Yeah. It's like whoa. Yeah, exactly. Okay, and I guess what is Talon feeling?
Talon is similarly like confused to all this interest. She kind of just wants everyone to go about the sentencing. She doesn't know anything about like whether or not Honeysuckle is guilty, or like what else is to play. She's just like, just let him die so we can appreciate her beauty. Let her die so we can appreciate her for what she really is, and we can all grow from that. Like,
That's horrible, but I love it.
What about Algabar?
Algabar is calm. Like, he's like okay, like weirdly okay with everything that's going on. Well, weirdly to Knerd, because I'm not sure if he knows about the whole incident at the desert.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe there's a potential that, I mean, he pretty much saw everything that Honeysuckle had to show him about I think he might have seen that stuff, but all he was doing was establishing guilt.
Well, Honeysuckle's not like, here, so they can't contest the role. So they can't contest the statement. So
I just think from Knerd's perspective, he could have seen that and it was irrelevant to the saying whether Honeysuckle did the thing or not. Anyway.
So what is your declaration? And I'll tell you if I'm okay with it or not.
So I'm... What am I declaring? Okay, so is this about whether Knerd knows about the...
Yeah.
Okay, Knerd knows the truth about like Aljabar's role in the murder, I guess.
All right. And what's his opinion? Because
I don't think he
I mean, that's not really part of the declaration, though, because you can't get
true.
the opinion of his character, right?
Well, true. Well, it's more like, never mind.
Is it something that you care about if he does know?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah. You're muted, Maria.
Sorry. I just noticed. I think that's the question. Like, do you care about it or not? That's when I'd be like less okay with, or not me. Like, I as a player don't mind, but like.
Well, I don't think Knerd. He doesn't care at the moment.
Okay, that's what I'm okay with. Yes. At the moment, it's fine.
I think this is all a digression because I think we already answered the question of the scene. I don't want to get any further into this because it feels like this all needs to be a different scene.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's roll then.
Okay, cool.
I just have a quick question.
Yep.
What does it feel like to have your emotions read, Knerd? Like, what would we know that you're...
I don't know. What does it feel like?
I think if you're not... I think it would probably be different if you were familiar with it. I think for Talon, she's probably hasn't had her emotions read before, so she's probably
maybe just feeling like a warm glow, like, you know, the feeling of when you're, oh, my ears are burning, like someone's talking to like about you. So maybe it's like the back of your neck is burning.
I was kind of thinking perhaps in a massive crowd like this, it's not as noticeable to have your emotions read, because I think of it a little bit like everyone can do it a little bit, like everyone's slightly empathic, but no, it's just like super empathic. Kyle's waving to you. That's Maria down there.
Oh, did I make the roll already? Oh, no, I didn't.
Okay. Okay, well, yeah, I want to wrap this scene. Yeah, so let's move on. Because I think we answered the question that the demonstration is more important than Honeysuckle's death. So that's going to be a thing. That's going to be a thing. Okay, so let's move on. Let's evaluate. Scene with no conflicts. Interesting. So the closing phase. So each of the players get to claim influence when they confront their beliefs. This influence can help them in conflicts or when they inspire others to change beliefs. You'll usually challenge beliefs by entering into conflicts that support or refute them. That said, sometimes beliefs will be examined during collaboration and can count for the purpose of claiming influence if the group agrees. Yeah, so examine each of the entries on your belief sheet that have influence markers on them. You declare if you think you have directly confronted, confirmed, or refuted one of your beliefs. If everyone at the table agrees, you remove that specific influence token from the sheet and put it in your pool of influence. So
I feel like I confirmed my belief that loss is beautiful and makes us strong. I think Knerd discovered that when rifling around in my emotions.
Yes, I think that is fair. Yeah, I think it's interesting that you chose not to express that belief, but yeah, I think we'll see if there's some reason why you were keeping quiet about it. Okay, so I think it's fair though. You did bring it up, so hit it. Yeah, get that point.
Oh, those are supposed to be like the tokens to grab.
Yeah, to take away. Yeah. Not it's not marked off. It's available to be taken. Yeah.
I mean, I was confused because Sid had it that way as well. So
yeah, there's a lot of confusion because this is all ad hoc. So okay, so Knerd, do you think you hit some beliefs here? I think you played against your belief that all pain must be quenched by just like supporting this this procession. Like you were trying to like amp it up, right?
Yeah, totally. What were you doing there, Knerd?
I don't know if we got to see that though. I think I might have been there to quench it if it got out of hand.
Okay.
I just didn't really get to express that. Like,
okay.
I think that's why I was thinking that I was there. Like, I was there in a supporting role until shit got out of hand, and I was going to quench that shit.
All right. So yeah. So do you think there's do you think you hit any of your beliefs in this scene?
Well, I think I was actually doing the conflicts can be resolved through influence of the arts. Like I think I was involved in the protests too, but I don't know if I. Really
I don't think you resolved anything though, so I'm not really.
And I was also
really feeling that.
To like do the everyone has good inside of them by I was hoping to read like worst boys' emotions and find something about them that would show me, but I didn't really get to see. Like maybe if we didn't really get to establish if I know Aljabar's involvement, like if they are just super chill and relaxed and I know that they were involved in it, like that could show me that they're not good. But Yeah, I don't know. Don't you play that right now? You
I was just waiting for a note to come out of that.
Yeah, I don't think I actually like. I peppered stuff a little bit with it, but I don't think I actually like grabbed any tokens.
That's fine. Yeah. And Algabar, what did you hit?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
I'm pretty sure I hit nothing.
Okay, so...
Because my hopes and dreams are self-interested, but we didn't get to that.
Yes.
It really is so. And then true love is a trick of the mind is not. Oh, by the way, when we decide if anyone's sitting out during the platform, not after the not after the question.
Okay. Okay, good to know. Thanks. Yeah. So the whole thing about the nightmare, that triggers when? I want to be clear about that.
When she rests.
Okay, so it's not like a specific... It's like a prompt for a reflection scene, but it's not actually a specific like phase of play that it triggers in.
Correct.
Okay, got it. So if you're interested in that nightmare, you can always just sort of, or I can spend influence to give it to you. Cool. So let's move on. Oh wait, we got to do my beliefs. So every message is sacred. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not super feeling.
I reckon it could. If you saw the reaction, the protest march as a message, like if like Loki's seeing it and her reaction to that as being a thing of major importance, like I could read it as that.
Yeah, it's just I feel like we would have hit that harder if Algabar had something in mind for what was going to happen, but it was like, this is portentous, but the message was totally unclear, right? It was like, well, I don't know what this means. It means something, but I don't know what, right? Laws are absolute. I feel like we kind of hit that, like, because everybody's just sort of like, you know, like, like, I mean, I feel like the crowd was protesting strongly against this belief, but then the PCs were just like,
I think, and even to flavor that more, perhaps the protests, they're not actually trying, like, that it's a demonstration more than a protest, perhaps. They're saying, like, we don't like this. They're not actually, like, trying to change what is going to happen, even maybe, because laws are absolute. They're just like, we really don't like this.
Well, it's a challenge to the
belief.
It's
a challenge to the absoluteness of law.
I guess so, yeah, but it's not as strong as them perhaps expecting it to change.
Well,
and then
so I think I can take an influence for that. Is that fair?
Yes. Okay. And then everyone is connected. We had pretty much everyone there except Honeysuckle.
Yeah, I feel like we hit everyone is connected because it was all these factions coming together and then all the characters coming together. And Algabar just shows up out of nowhere and is like, hey, it's Algabar, have a nightmare.
And just walks past and like raids them all and yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you showed up and like you saw us and yeah, that was cool. Okay, cool. So let's move on.
Do we want to
if anybody cleared all their beliefs?
No.
I should mark which ones I did hit.
Or the ones you didn't hit, you mark them as tokens.
Right. Okay, the ones I didn't hit. So I didn't hit every message is sacred. Why is this not? Oh, okay, here we go. Go here. Man, roll 20 is not being good today. Okay, here we go. Draw a shape. There we go. So this one I haven't hit yet. The other two I did hit. So I need to hit every message is sacred next time. Okay, and
does anyone want to do?
No, I don't think anybody else cleared all their beliefs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Now we go to interludes. So you can spend three influence to trigger an interlude between scenes. So this would be a small moment of common introspection in contrast to the high stakes scenes of conflict, or the high stakes of conflict-driven scenes. So you ask a question to someone at the table. It can be in person, or it could be through an NPC, or it could be just by setting up a scene. So, an interlude. I want an interlude. I want to see Talon's nightmare, prophetic nightmare.
Bring it on.
Okay, I'm gonna spend 3 influence, so that would put me down to 8.
Well, to be fair, the GM is the one who gives the nightmare, or at least that's how it's worded. So
yeah. So I have to ask. I have to go question in the context of the nightmare, right?
Yeah.
So I will describe the nightmare to you, and then I will ask a question, and you can add in details of the nightmare if you want to. So let me look at your beliefs. So what would be nightmarish to your character? Oh yeah, right. Sorry, what's the name of your power?
The present tier one.
Aludra?
Oh yeah.
Aludra, yeah.
Yeah, so I think you are sleeping at night. We see you on your bed, and maybe there's like pottery all throughout the room around you, and like various works in various stages of completion. We've cut to your nightmarish visions in your sleep. And you see the beautiful Aludra sort of glaciers running down her face. And there is a dark multitude of figures that begin to eat her piece by piece. She's just lying there, crying her tears, and there are bits of her being bitten away and devoured. My question to Talon is, how will you honor loss when there is no power to confirm that it is right?
I'm going to answer that through the nightmare as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at Aludra getting devoured, and she has these tears, and then I'm screaming out, and I'm trying to remember her name, but I can't remember her name.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, we need you. And then Talon is at a pottery wheel,
Mm-hmm.
trying to produce a vase with Aludra's likeness in it because she can't remember her name,
Mm-hmm.
and instill the essence of beautiful loss into that pottery.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's trying to work on this, and then her dad and mum come in and they're like, stop working on this. You need to keep working on products that are going to sell. That's not going to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And Talon's crying these frozen tears too, and she's just trying to remember her name and just trying to remember her essence through this pottery, and she's getting all this pressure from her parents telling her what to do. It's horrible.
So she's going to become obsessed, maybe?
Yeah. So she really wants to honor her god, but she doesn't know how to if her god is not there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this probably means that Loki's gonna die. So that's gonna be interesting to see. All right, cool. So anybody else want to do an interlude? 3 points.
Oh, by the way, you recover 1 harm, both of you.
Oh, I
well,
don't think
because
I
you
have
made an
any more.
interlude.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Or at least Talan does.
Yes. Yeah. No, I can take harm as well, but I don't think I have any. Yeah.
But like, it's the characters who it's Talan definitely, but if you interacted with her, then yeah.
Yeah.
Which yeah.
Cool. Anybody else want to do an interlude?
I'm fine for now. I won my 3
I'm too broke in influence.
Yeah, I was just like, well, I didn't actually need to do that scene, but I kind of wanted to see the nightmare. So
I mean, I could have because I have 3 harm right now, so, but
okay. Well, you had your chance.
I'm fine. I want to keep my 3 influence for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Let's do the next scene. So we're gonna roll our smoke again.
6. Oh god. Worst boy got 6. Oh, thank god. Oh, thank god. Oh god, no. Worst boy gets 3rd choice.
I'm going first. Talon second, and then
I'm the worst at this. I never get to decide anything. I did last time.
You did last time, yeah.
Last time.
So I'm gonna. Okay, hang on. What do I want? What do I want? Okay, I'll take the platform.
Yay, I don't get to platform.
Okay. Who's next?
Is that me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll take the tilt.
Okay.
I'll have the question then.
All right.
Which is probably a bad idea considering the first question of the game.
Well, you could use it to drive the narrative for sure. So I think the platform is platform, then tilt, then question, right? That's the correct order.
Yeah, and when deciding the platform, we decide who's there and who's not.
Yes, right. So the platform, I think this is. Are people chatting in Roll20?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that this is the funeral of Honeysuckle. Honeysuckle's dead. And there is I think that I think that the funeral is erupting into chaos.
That's the tilt.
Sorry, you're right. Yeah, it's the funeral of Honeysuckle, and this is the time. I think it is. Okay, right. So that's kind of the time, right? So the location I have to pick would be
the funeral of Honeysuckle. You don't have to detail it a lot. It's just
no. I'm just trying to think about what part of the town this would be in.
Rip Honeysuckle.
Maybe God Street, like the. Hang on, what is that? God Street, where.
I think this is maybe the Isle of Spirits.
Nice. Not the rat farm. You don't want to go for the rat farm.
No, but I mean that's a drinking place. It could be God Street, but I don't think Honeysuckle was. I mean, that could be interesting from the Eludra perspective. She could show up in the scene.
Wait, which is the drinking place?
The Isle of Spirits.
Could be the WEC.
Oh, Knurt's there.
Yeah.
All right. So now we decide who's there. And I am going to say Algebar is not there. But does that mean I still ask the question?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
As long as you play an NPC or environment or something, you can be in the scene still. And you definitely get to ask the question no matter what.
Like I'm gonna sit out of the scene.
Oh, you're gonna sit out entirely? I think you still get to ask the question.
Yeah. Which is fine. That's good. I'm gonna sit out of the scene so I get harm back. Worst boy is not a Honeysuckle's funeral.
Yeah. Wow. And it's Honeysuckle's funeral. This is on the we'll say it's on God Street.
God Street.
And people who are there, so Knurd, are you mourning Honeysuckle, or are you showing up?
Yeah, Knurd's there. I think he's there in a professional capacity.
Okay. Playing some music. What about Talon? Do you think Talon is in the scene?
Yeah, Talon's there.
Okay.
She was friends with Honeysuckle.
And I think I'm gonna play Eludra. Because we're on God Street, so why not? And the tilt. What's the tilt gonna be? So it's the funeral. What happens?
I think maybe there's some aftermath from that procession parade thing in the bazaar. And I think there are some people who are loudly protesting that sentence still.
Okay.
And I think that there's also some people who are loudly proclaiming that sentence was apt.
Okay, so there's a protest and a counter protest.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll just give a brief description of God Street so that we know where we're at, and that might influence what people are choosing here. So God Street, it says, the powers are status conscious and they each seek to prove their superiority. The primary battlefield in the city between is God Street, where all the holy buildings are found. Along this boulevard are dozens of temples, mosques, shrines, and other holy sites dedicated to the powers. Those with the most worshippers and greatest prestige are found at the head of Upper God Street, while the unpopular powers are relegated to the tail end of Lower God Street. The cults and priesthoods fight amongst each other for dominance, longing to move their places of worship to a location higher on the street. God Street is a place of proud faith and unflinching zeal, where the clerics fight over the very souls of the passers-by. The streets are filled with the scent of incense and the scorched offering of animal flesh. Relentless chants, bronze gongs, and delicate song resonate in the alleys that divide the magnificent temples. Demons and divine servitors wander the path, seeking to spread the word of their eternal masters. The cobblestone street is holy ground, and the desperate masses come here seeking miracles. Sometimes they're even willing to pay the price. So, so do you see this protest happening in the middle of like God Street, or?
I see it happening at the funeral. Whether it's is it an outdoor funeral or like a wake in a venue, or?
Yeah, I think this is probably in the Temple of Eludra.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is happening right outside.
Okay. So like a loud ruckus erupts from outside of the temple.
Yeah.
Could be the tilt.
So my question is going to depend on another question that I'm gonna ask Ellen first. Is your character's family there? Is Talon's family there?
I think that they have they've got a little pop-up shop to sell trinkets for the funeral. So they're probably little ceramic tears, or maybe little ceramic models of the Ludra.
Are they followers of Eludra? I thought
No, they're not. They're they're just making a quick buck. So there's the stuff that Talon's parents have created haven't got that deep connection imbued. They're just cheap ornaments with made in Sig engraved on the bottom.
So the question is going to be, is loss still beautiful if that loss is a family that needs to be quenched or destroyed?
Nice.
Is loss still beautiful if what is lost is family, or what is
lost is not? It's more like, is loss still beautiful if what you lose is not valuable or must be destroyed?
Okay. So is loss still beautiful if what is lost was worth destroying?
Yes. Good luck. Have fun, Ellen.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think we're inside of the temple. It's a very cold place. There's probably like icicles hanging down from the sides of the room, and Eludra is sitting on a throne of carved ice, looking down at everybody at the funeral. The body of Honeysuckle has been presented on a slab in the center of the room. Everybody is arranged in a sort of semicircle around the slab, and in the back corner you can see Talon's family with a very incongruous, like gaudy stall piled up with tears. These trinkets that they're selling, and like, probably like when people come into the funeral to like pay their respects, they like send some kid out to like intercept them and be like, "Oh, don't you want to buy a trinket?" Just being complete assholes. And we hear the ruckus from outside, and there's people that are starting to like spill into the room, and Eludra stands up and looks at them and calls out, "Why would you enter my home? And what do you do?"
Who was Aludra directing that to?
To the people who are like protesting and counter protesting and starting to spill into the room.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Talon is really offended at their intrusion as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, considering like her god is getting upset by it too. So she wants to go and try and push some of those people out. Like, get out. This is a holy place. You blasphemers.
Okay. What about Knerd? What are you doing?
Knerd feels like the protest, the demonstration has gotten out of hand, so he's going to I'll probably use my ritual to remove their emotional pain so they'll go away.
Okay, well, I'm going to challenge your efforts to do that because every message is sacred. So,
and I'm going to back Kyle on this one because we need to feel that loss.
Okay. Good. So what is your character doing to disrupt Knerd's efforts to bring things down?
So even though your god's telling you to do it, you really don't want to tell them to go away because you feel like it's adding to the...
No, like their pain and their anger is valid, but just not
do it outside.
Yeah.
So, but what are you doing to get in Knerd's way? Is what I'm asking.
So, where is Knerd located in the scheme of this temple?
I think Knerd's like moved back towards the door to like play this music like out into the street.
I think pushing these people out, but I'm also like trying because I was like, oh, this musician's Knerd's here to play for the wake, so I'm like trying to push him in and push those guys out. I'm like, yeah.
Get in the way. Yeah, put yourself in the middle.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I totally got 4 arms. I'm so gonna be able to play my instrument while you're trying to mess with.
Okay, so let's do the
I think I have to use an influence, I guess, to make it not permanent. It seems a bit like intense right now to permanently like remove emotions from a whole massive crowd of people.
Yeah.
I think I'm into that, so I'll use my like 1 influence so that I don't permanently
okay, so the conflict is so one side is Knerd. I use my music to temporarily quench the emotions of those present. And my contention is Knerd fails and the protest becomes more active or lively. Okay. And on your side, nobody's supporting you, and Talon is supporting me by getting in Knerd's way. By pushing Knerd, like separating Knerd from the crowd.
Don't make me use my burning hands.
Don't make me take away all of your emotions.
Permanently.
Permanently.
So, all right.
I'm
So those are the
personally glad
sides.
Worst Boy isn't here.
Yeah, Worst Boy is not here. Worst Boy is not a part of this. So, well, okay. If a participant is using their primary character, a PC, or a face, they select their spark die. If they're using lesser characters or the world itself, they select their smoke die. So I'm using my smoke die here, I think. I don't think Eludra is directly intervening. I think this is the world itself. So for each person supporting your declaration, increase the size of your die by 1 level to a max of D20. So I have a smoke of 8. Oh, I just realized.
You rolled a D12 in the...
I did. I screwed up. Oh no!
I was about to say what?
That's what I did for the first roll until I realized. Hang on, I meant to have D10.
We're telling a cool story.
I wish I had a character sheet instead of a piece of paper. But yeah, I think I'm going D12 because I get the support from Talon, so that's going to be my roll.
I don't D10 because you have a D8 normally.
Oh right, yeah, sorry, D10, yeah, D10, not D12. Yeah, you're right. That's 1 step up. And if you're portraying an NPC, no, I'm not. Okay, so Knerd, what are you doing there with your bonuses?
So I'm bringing in talents into my role, so I can use music.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure I can use venues for this as well, just because I imagine he plays in this sort of situation a lot, and perhaps has even affected the emotions of people at ceremonies like this before.
Yeah.
I'm gonna argue for using brawling because I'm being messed with while I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to answer this. Sorry.
Okay.
It'll just be 1 second.
That Knerd guy's the worst. All right, now he's not here. Can we put him in prison?
Executed.
Sentenced to death.
Everybody who doesn't join the session or leaves temporarily executed.
Yeah, Maria was lucky she wasn't gone for long just before. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm allowed to do that when I skip, when I'm sitting out of a scene. So
not when you're about to roll for conflict. Come on.
No, right?
Yep. Okay. Now, someone get into his character sheet and bump up his arm while he's not looking.
I would if Roll20 would let me. I can't even see his character sheet.
He doesn't have music marked, so I'll mark music. Wait, what? It's not letting. It's
probably a permissions thing.
No,
Sorry,
it's not letting.
I just saw the ticks go on when you were doing that.
No, it's not letting me click both music and venues. It's either one or the other.
Oh.
Which is
because
okay.
Yeah, so it's I guess the way this is written, that does make sense. It's +1 if they have an applicable broad talent. So it doesn't mean +1 for every applicable broad talent.
So you can choose one from each.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Kyle. I meant to say before the game that I can't ring out on my phone at the moment, and I was expecting a call, so I was going to say I had to.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm going to use music.
Rolling, you said?
Yeah, well, I feel like I'm being physically messed with while I'm playing.
Yeah. Talon's messing with you.
Yeah, and I'm going to use influential empathic music.
Yep. Okay. So I'm rolling my d10.
I'm rolling a d8. Oh, that's good for me. I think I can't lose, right? Because I've got a +3.
Yeah.
But also the GM has a shit ton of influence he can spend.
Why is it saying
true.
bonus? Why is it saying bonus 6 as a pre-filled thing? Do I get extra because of...
No, it's if you want to spend influence and shit, but I guess you can do that like
I
after.
had to spend influence to do my ritual, but
didn't his music, brawling, and empathic music had ticked on the talents, so that would equal 6 modifier.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
it's the character sheet modifying your roll.
No,
I just wondered if it was
+1 broad, +2 common, +3 deep.
Ah, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Well.
Nerd maths.
Well.
Okay. Well, even if I spent all my influence, but I don't want to spend all my influence though.
No, so, even if that happens, you still have an 11, which means you still lose.
Yeah.
Do I describe my victory?
Yeah. Why don't you do that?
Okay.
How do people get real mellow?
Well, first Talan tries to mess with me, and I think just like puts a hand like on her shoulder and like holds her back while he's playing the music with his other 3 arms. And I think he's I think he weaves some. It's a song. I think it's probably a song that it's like a song of order. It's about like, this is not the way that it's like that kind of fable thing, like, there once was a young girl who did things that she wasn't meant to do, and then she went home and went to bed, and that was the right thing to do. It's like one of those really boring, like, moralistic tales, but it has a really good melody. And it's calming. It's kind of like it's probably a lullaby, I guess, about how good girls and boys should just go home and not mess with the way that things are meant to be in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also, I guess, I kind of like to see it maybe from Knud's perspective, that we see like we see these threads of like kind of smoke and light being drawn out of people, and I guess he's offering them to his god in some way. I think they're coming in. I think they're coming into the instrument, like the sound holes of the instrument.
Yeah.
And then maybe coming out of the heads, like of the instrument. So they're in and they're like floating off as some sort of like prayer or offering or something.
Okay.
Like that. And I think everybody just kind of like looks at each other. And
right.
They're like, what are we doing here? It's time to go home.
Yeah, so probably just the crowd, like they all get these very sort of like somber looks on their faces and just sort of looking slightly embarrassed and and start to part and go about their business. So I think we turn back to the interior of the space, and I think Aludra steps down from her throne and comes down to the body and says, would anyone care to speak for Honeysuckle? How should we remember
her? I would like to share my words with you all on Honeysuckle.
Speak then.
Honeysuckle was so beautiful in the way that she really felt the icy tears of our God. She fought hard for that she loved, and she will be remembered.
Anyone want to speak up? I think I think, okay, so I'm going to play her family here. And I think this is like your gross uncle. You're all like fire people, right? Yeah.
I think my dad's not.
You're sorry?
My dad's not.
Okay, so
He's
so
like
there are just an average run of the mill human.
Yeah. Mum's fire heart.
Okay. So yeah, I think it's like maybe it's your dad comes forward and then says, well, don't forget, she was also a murderer.
Oh, Dad, what are you even doing here? Seriously, this is not the place. You should have gone out with those marauding losers. Talon didn't say losers then. She said something much more hurtful. Take your junky trinkets and get out of here.
He says, you just don't understand. You think everybody's worth something. But some people, they just they make wrong decisions. They're wrong sort of people.
So Honeysuckle is clearly worth a dime to you because you're here making $1 off him. Her. And Talon.
And I think he looks down at the coin, like the little like coin tin he has, and like looks at it and he's like, and I want to end the scene there because I think we answered the question.
I really wanted to flip that table though.
Wait, so the answer to the question
good
was...
You made him eat his words. It's great.
Yeah, no, watching someone be watching
destroyed.
that destroyed, that the act of the destruction is beautiful as well.
Okay. That's amazing.
So the question was, is loss still beautiful if what is lost was worth destroying?
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Lol.
Yeah, nice. Okay, good. All right, so let's talk about our beliefs here. Going back. So we'll start with Talon. Family is a fire that needs to be quenched. I think you definitely hit that.
Yay, we all get some influence.
Quench that shit.
Definite quench. Get quenched. So that's 9 for me. And you refresh your thing, so you get a token on each of these. Knerd, what do you think you hit? I think you hit all conflicts can be resolved through influence of the arts.
Yeah, I was doing that. And I also quenched some. It wasn't really pain I was quenching. I was just wrecking emotions that I didn't want to be around at the time. Man, Knerd's got the ability to turn into like a full villain, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like, you don't feel anything? You don't feel anything?
So which are the ones that you haven't claimed yet? Because
I think all of them wasn't that right? They were all cleared.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was doing it the opposite method from everybody else.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you get to mark all conflicts can be resolved through influence of the arts. I think that's a good one for that scene.
Cool.
And Algabar was not around.
And Honeysuckle is dead.
What's that?
And Honeysuckle is dead.
Honeysuckle is dead, yeah. So Honeysuckle, rip Honeysuckle.
Rip.
And I think I hit my belief. Every message is sacred. I think I got Talon to push for that. So I think I hit that.
Does that mean we all get another influence as well?
Yes, because I cleared mine. So
bruh. What's everyone's influence out of curiosity?
right now I'm at 10.
I'm at 5. Talan?
I'm at 4. So I'm just reading the book here.
Yep.
So you get influence when you like address one of those beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
and when all my tokens are removed, everyone gets 1 influence. Once that's done, add 1 influence token from the supply beside each of those entries on the belief sheet.
Yeah.
Does that mean I get like another 3 influence?
No, it just means you replace them beside your beliefs so that you can mark them off in the future.
Yeah. Cool. Done.
Yeah. Cool. Right. So does anyone want to do an interlude?
I might.
I would as well.
Okay, great.
Depends who wants to go first. All right. Oh, and by the way, Kennard, you have a harm on you because you won the previous conflict.
Good point.
So I'm gonna let if Ellen has a burning question, I'll let her do because I don't really have a question right now. I just want to clear some harm.
So please go ahead.
I just want to clear some harm.
I have a question for Algabar.
Yeah, I get to clear harm anyways.
What was Algabar doing instead of being at Honeysuckle's funeral?
All
right. I think so. Algabar is I'm trying to think I think Algabar was instigating a bit subtly. Like he was trying to spread rumors that Honeysuckle's murder was like wrong. Like or not like her conviction was wrong or faulty.
So were you trying to rile up the protesters through those rumors?
Yes.
Okay. So like how did you do that? What does it look like?
Yeah, I think since everyone is connected and every message is sacred, then I basically started spreading rumors that Honeysuckle was coerced into doing it.
Are you trying to frame yourself?
I have ideas.
Interesting strategy. Okay, cool. So Algabar, what's your question you have for somebody? Remember, both of you mark off harm. Both of you mark off harm.
Yeah. I think I'm fine for now. I have 1 harm. I'm fine. I would rather keep the influence for now.
Okay. Okay, sure. Yeah, I don't have any harm, and I don't have a burning question at the moment. So I think we're ready to move on to our next scene. So everybody's going to roll smoke, and I'm going to roll the correct die this time.
Bruh.
Not a D12. It's in fact a D8.
Oh,
there you go. That's a bad roll.
Reroll.
Rerolling. Oh,
okay,
I still won.
Okay, you got 3rd.
All right, so
and then Oh yeah.
Hey Luke, I re-rolled.
Okay, so it looks like we got L N and then
Lou
and then me. Yeah. Okay. So what would you like? Hold on.
Let me have a go at the question.
Okay. So the question is going to you. Oops. And what would you like, Lou? Tilt or the question, or the tilt or the platform? Which would you like?
Probably the platform. I'm madly looking through the book right now, though, to try and find one.
All right, so I get the tilt.
Do you want me to give you the map, Luke?
No, that's okay, thanks. You are great, though, that you have a real map.
Yeah. Woo. Nice.
It's so pretty. This is one of the things that really got me into this game.
Nice. Yeah, I think it must be a lot better to look at like printed out than it does in a PDF where it's like split like this. Yeah, cool. So yeah, so platform. What's the platform going to be?
So do I say where
and when?
Ooh, I'm pretty tempted to go have another flashback. Is there a prison?
Yeah, totally. There is, I think. Let's see.
If there's no prison, we can always make one up. So
yeah. Oh. There is a prison in Sarhome. But that's a secret prison. Ooh.
Secret prison. I wonder if it could be a plane somewhere on a...
Oh, yeah, totally.
I was thinking maybe the like some... Yeah.
The plane of... Let's see, maybe order or tyranny?
What's tyranny like?
Mercy has no place in the law.
Well, I was thinking it would be ironic if the order, like Sig with order in it, sent people to tyranny as like punishment. Like,
oh
like
yeah,
that's what they used as a. Like,
there's justice as well.
Yeah, there's also justice if you want to have, fair and see, the thing about justice though is it's very like restorative justice, kind of like.
Well, even the plane of tyranny, it says mercy has no place in the law.
Yeah. It's very
and I suppose she was sentenced to death.
Yeah.
So which one?
Plane of tyranny?
Ooh, I wonder if she was sentenced. I'm just reading this thing, the marching stones, conscript armies, infernal wars, constructs, and massive obsidian blocks march with unrelenting violence upon each other. I think she was sentenced to death by being part of one of these armies. But the scene that I want, I think that's what you get for being late, Sid. You sentenced to death in a hellish army. I think, but I think maybe the place and the time I want to see is Do you think Sid would X-card that? If
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Oh, yeah.
That's very true. Yes.
Yeah, you are
it's
actually
too close
true.
to home.
Okay, let's say we. No, you're right. You're right, Ellen. That's a good point. X-card for Sid.
Okay.
Let's say that we don't know what the sentence is, and that I was just not even thinking about that. The book made me do it. Let's say I just want to see a scene like in these, like a prison cell kind of talking, like scene. So it's in a prison and it's before, like, I guess before the sentencing has occurred, maybe like the.
This is in SIG somewhere.
I think I still want it to be somewhere in the shadow, in the plane of tyranny.
Okay. It could be the 5 lights below, or
how about it's in SIG, but it's right, like the prison is right on the, like, however you get into the plane of tyranny.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Except it's not tethered to the plane of tyranny.
But there could still be a portal.
Maybe you get, or you're held in remand there until it next makes contact, and then they're like, in you go.
Yeah. Okay, so this is so it's a prison abutting the plane of tyranny in SIG. And this is before the sentencing or the execution? Which one was it?
I've kind of like even before the sentencing is probably more interesting.
Okay. So let me look at my characters. So we had Tomer in that scene before. I think I kind of want the tilt to be
who's in there?
Yeah, right. Right. So everybody's in the scene. Honeysuckle is in the scene, I guess.
Unless we want somebody not even letting like it's some connection to,
like, yeah, it's like I'd rather not play Honeysuckle.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna say like it could be somebody speaking for her or being
about Honeysuckle.
Yeah.
Oh, we could have Tomer as like being Honeysuckle's representative.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay. Who else is in the scene?
Algebar.
Algebar's in the scene. Tomer's in the scene.
Yeah, Knud's going to be there as well, I think. Or I think so. I'll just quickly look at the other NPC.
Knud could totally be there to calm the prisoners. Like, that could be totally something that, you know...
It's very tyrannical. I like it.
Also, when creating the tilt and the platform, keep in mind that Tomer was actually a witness to what actually happened.
Yeah, I know. I've got that in mind.
Yeah, I was going to request that Tomer was there anyway.
Yeah. What about Maziz? Maziz could be there to like report on the situation. I don't know.
Yeah. Maziz could be there. Possibly.
I'd like to play Tomer.
Okay, sure. In that case, I'll play Maziz. Sure.
Knud's there then.
Okay. And also we have
Worst boy.
Algabar there. Yes. That fucker is there as well.
This is gonna be
okay, so I'm gonna write these down.
exciting.
So Muzis,
Oh, wow.
Tomer, Algabar, Knerd, and that's it. 4, I think. Yeah. Okay. And the tilt. So this is before the sentencing.
Wait. I think so I think whoever put the green box has to put it like in everyone has good inside of them, because all pain must be quenched and all conflicts can be resolved for the influence of the arts have been taken.
Okay.
Lou?
I don't really know what you're talking about. Sorry, I don't understand. What about it?
There's a green box. It should be on unbelief number 1 instead of 2. Because that's the one you haven't hit yet.
I thought I'd only hit 1.
So you were doing it the opposite way from everybody else.
Okay.
So
And I thought you hit all pain must be quenched as well last scene, didn't you?
No. Only that one. Yeah, all conflicts.
I almost hit everything, but didn't quite hit it. Yeah. Sorry if it's confusing.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the tilt.
Well, you got 3rd, so it's.
What do you mean?
Oh, wait.
No, the order's always set. It's my turn. It's my turn to choose.
Right, I forgot.
So I'm gonna look at this. I think that. Let me look at Mazis here. I'm really at a loss here on a tilt.
Well, Mazis is one of my parents, so you could start by having a fight between them or something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
What do you think is the obviously they have an antagonistic relationship, but I don't understand what Algabar is doing. So it's pretty hard for me to play to your scheme when I don't understand what your scheme is.
Okay, my scheme is, you remember during the reflection scene in last with Masi's last time when he said like, oh, all my children are useful to me. I basically want to prove him wrong.
Okay.
That's the scheme.
That's your scheme.
Yeah.
So you're trying to frame him, or
more prove that I wasn't useful to him and make things worse for him.
So the idea then is that
or them,
they wanted something out of Honeysuckle that you're denying them.
That could be part of it.
Because he was or they were the ones who first. They were the one who first accused Honeysuckle of the murder, right?
Yeah.
So you were trying to say that the accusation was unjust, so that it would then go back on them?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is before the sentencing, and I think I honestly don't know why these characters are together. I don't understand. I don't know. I do not know.
Maybe they're doing some sort of reportive journalism to maybe the SIG police aren't doing a good enough job to determine the truth, and maybe the heralds are.
So they're like trying to write a report to provide for sentencing.
Well,
yeah,
I think I like Nerd. I think Nerd came here because he like did see other things when he like was interacting with Honeysuckle earlier, and has come to try like talk to
Okay.
him, I guess. I mean, Tomer's obviously here because he's family. Like, it doesn't seem like that much of Algebbar's here because he's a dickhead and he's causing trouble. It doesn't.
Well, I just said Honeysuckle before.
No, I meant to say Honeysuckle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When earlier on when Knerd interacted with Honeysuckle to prove Honeysuckle's guilt, like saw other stuff happen at the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think that the tilt is that Maziz shows up with a pre-written report and asks everybody to sign off on it.
And the question is, when someone always acts in self-interest, do they have any good inside them?
Okay. So can a person who is purely self-interested be good? Or can purely self-interested actions be good?
Oh my God. Well, no, not is there. So it's kind of directed at Algebbar, but also reflecting on Knerd's belief. I want to see if Knerd can see any good in Algebbar.
Okay, so can a purely self-interested person
have good inside them still?
Yeah, person.
So like Luz said, is worst boy a total dick or just a regular dick?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we're in some kind of like meeting room in the prison. And you know, there's in the distance you can hear the screams of the prisoners. And Maziz just blows into the room, says, well, hello everybody. I'm glad to see you are all able to come together. We've established the facts of the matter, and so I've taken the liberty of producing this report, which we will provide to the sentencing committee, and this will all be dealt with shortly, I'm sure. And like, boom, like gives each of you a copy of this report that he's written.
I'm gonna read it.
Can you provide us with the executive summary?
And then he walks over to your report, like leaps to the second page, and it says executive summary. And says, as you can see, I'm simply stating the facts that Honeysuckle is a murderer, and that they murdered Castafiel in cold blood. And we have that on the testimony of our good friend Knerd. Therefore, there is really nothing much to discuss, in my opinion.
So I'm reading over the whole thing. Does that match up with what he says?
The text, does it match up with what he says? Yes, the text matches what he says.
Okay, so that is true. All right. And the wording is that it's in cold blood, even though we've established that it was poison.
Yeah, but that just means they did it with a deliberated intent, right? It was not like a rash, an emotional murder, right? It was like, oh, I was plotting to do this and I did.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm like language.
Yeah, no, of course, it's fine.
All right.
Tonga dates Honeysuckle. She's a good girl. Do you have any cause for motive? Like she
Well, the law is interested in whether she did it or not, and how. And the law is absolute.
But if she was doing it for purposes that aren't clear, or some reason that could give her cause.
Well, I don't think there's any need to dig into this matter at length. We have the clear testimony of our friend Knerd.
I'm gonna look at Knerd. To see what his reaction is.
Nerd staying like silent, just reading everybody. I think Knerd just says, "Well, yes, the law is absolute. Honeysuckle did it. I mean, there's definitely more to the story, but looks pointedly at algebra. But that's not what we're here to discuss, really, is it? Algebra."
I'm already signing the paper. But I will because everything seems fine, but I look at Macy's. Is this useful to you? And I give him the papers.
He says, well, I suppose that I might derive some small benefit from this outcome, but really I'm most interested that the information about what happened is clearly communicated to the justice system, and that the sentencing happens in full light of the truth.
I will not sign this until the full light of the truth is written. You can't say this is complete without motive.
Well, it was a deliberate murder.
Why?
And does Knerd want to reveal a motive here, or does Elgabar want to reveal a motive here, or
I'm thinking.
Knerd could. I mean, Toma has a Toma. How are we saying this dude's name?
Toma.
Toma knows too, right? Toma was
there.
Yeah, Toma was there. Yeah.
I was unsure whether or not Toma would have heard the conversation.
He was right there.
He was right there.
He was right. I think Knerd says, "I don't know why you keep silent, Toma. I saw you there in Honeysuckle's memory. You're part of this story too."
I was really hoping that it wouldn't have to come to this. But the truth of the matter is that Algabar conscripted Honeysuckle to do the act. So would you sentence the gun that shot the bullet, or would you sentence
the person who held the gun.
And I think that Mazis just like turns slowly to Algavar and is like, well, certainly they are both guilty and require sentencing.
Yes, well then let's see your report on that.
We didn't see Algebra at the funeral. I wonder if that's because Algebra is also in prison.
Well, we could like
we did establish
that he always contest any of these things. Remember, there are statements that can be contested.
I'm gonna say, well, to be fair, we established that he was riling shit up during the funeral, so that
yeah, that's right. So, yeah,
I'm trying to think of how to contest it. I think I think Tomar keeps silent because so what are Tomar's things again? He is methodical, he's a mycologist, and he's monotonous. So I think I'm not sure if I want to contest that part. I think I want to contest Mazis finding I want to say Mazis is hesitant to have Algebar sentence as well.
Okay, sure. Yeah, let's see. Let's do the conflict. So my side is Mazis will gladly sacrifice Algebar in order to get this conviction sorted out. And your contention is that Mazis is hesitant. Let's work out the conflict. Is anybody wanting to support either side?
I think Nerd is looking into like Mazis and Algebra and shaking his head, and he's like I think can see that they're both horrible people. And we will not support either side.
Okay. Yes. And what about Tomer?
Tomer wants to see all the facts uncovered systematically and revealed. So I think Tomer supports Mazis.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Am I using spark or smoke?
In your case, you would be using spark.
Okay.
And for me, I believe I'm also using spark. Hang on.
Yeah, you're using spark.
Yeah.
Which is actually 12.
Actually a D12, yeah. So I get I go up to a D20 because I got that support. And one of my strengths or weaknesses apply. Let's see. So Mazis, seductive, well-connected, entangled. So I think weakness applies. That would be entangled. All right. So then that would be back down to a D12.
All right. I think I'm gonna use prediction as my command.
And how is that relevant?
I think I if this is Algebra trying to convince, or not trying to convince, but like trying to, like, if I'm using spark, I think it's more like Algebra trying to figure like figure him out. So I think prediction would work in the sense that he knows how to figure Maziz out.
Okay, so like you already predicted Mazis's
Yes.
reaction.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, so you get a +2. And all right, let's
Bruh.
roll. Oof, it's bad for me. Okay.
Do you want to spend influence?
Yeah, maybe I will. So I think I'm going to take harm.
Were you meant to roll D20 or D12?
It went up to D20 and then back down to D12 because of my weakness.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So I will spend harm to get a 3, so that puts me up to 10. And then I'll spend another 3. Or I'll spend 3 influence to put myself at 13.
I'll spend a harm to put myself at 14.
Okay.
No, sorry, not 14, 15.
15? Okay, so I'll spend so 6 total influence to put myself above you at 16.
I will spend 2 influence.
Okay, I'll let you win. Yeah, good.
Wait, why is it at 7?
Huh?
Wait, I am confused. Did it go up? Oh wait, I accidentally moved it up instead of down. Oops, I'm at 3 influence.
Okay, so my influence is I spent. So does the person, when you bid, do you actually spend the influence or?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that would be I spent 6. So I take 1 harm and I lose 6 influence. Okay, so that puts me down to 4.
And I also get the
harm.
price of victory harm. So I'm back at 3 harm.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So Maziz hesitates and is like. So you ask them whether they are okay with that, and they say, well, I think we should put the matter at hand first, and afterwards we can consider the earlier motives.
Why are you hesitant?
Well,
you are a herald. Every message is sacred.
Yes, but even sacred things have their time and place.
They will find out eventually.
Well,
I'm saying this because I think the reason Macy's hesitates is because Algebar is not because he cares for Algebar, but because he thinks that Algebar is still useful.
yeah.
Even like he doesn't want it put to death because of that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to contest here. Like, does he have good in him? In like, is he going to make this like? Is he still good for him? Like, is he gonna do the right thing? Is what I'm saying.
Is he gonna do the right thing? Yeah. So if his motivation is like he wants to keep using Algebar, but then if he wanted to do the right thing, he would throw Algebar away, even though it's against his self-interest.
Yeah.
I think he would say something like. Oh man, I think he's gonna say
asking the hard questions.
yeah, because I'm trying to answer the question, right?
Yeah, like you're basically gonna answer your question unless
Can a purely self-interested person be good? Well, and yeah, and I think I think so. Your specific question was, can they have good in them, right?
Can there be a glimmer of goodness in a
Yeah, well, and I guess in this case it's Mizzy saying, no, you're right. The truth must be brought to light. On my honor as a herald, I will make it so. So that, yeah, I mean, I think that they will reveal the information. So can we end the scene there? Is that clear enough?
I think that's answered.
Okay, good.
Yes.
What do you think, Knerd?
Yeah, I think it was answered.
Yeah, I mean, Knerd knows that both of them are actually terrible people because he just was reading our emotions. But the fact of the matter was that Bazis was pushed into a situation where they had to do something good because of their obligations.
Yeah, it's definitely pushing, and it's definitely pushing on. I'm kind of seeing Knerd's journey, like that everyone has good inside of them is going to be negated.
Oh my god, this is.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm getting these moments where it just pauses for a bit and then it just fast forwards to where we are. Like
yes.
So
Sorry.
Yeah, and I wanna start to wrap things up. So let's finish up.
I thought. Oh wait, you were almost on time. Okay.
Yeah, we're almost on time. Yeah. So
Okay.
so let's do our beliefs and then we'll wrap up the game. We'll have a time for reflections if anybody can afford one.
I don't think anyone. No.
I don't think anybody can afford one yet, right?
I can.
A reflection? Because that costs a lot.
Do you have 15 influence?
You need 15 to do a reflection.
Oh, and I forgot to take away my influence from the question I asked last time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't afford anything.
Yeah, so I don't think any of us can afford a reflection. So
I can afford an interlude, but
yeah, we can afford an interlude. So we might get to do one or two of those, just to wrap things up a little bit. Some epilogue. Okay, so let's take a look then. We'll start with Algabar.
So are self-interested, yes.
Yeah, I think that's right. True love is a trick of the mind. Do we think we hit that?
Slightly. Like with the whole Mazis hesitating, but then going like, "Oh, okay, let's send him to death."
Yeah, and I mean, I think that would have been hit harder if it was like love is a trick of the mind. Like true love feels to me like more like romantic love.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling all hopes and dreams are self-interested. I think you totally hit that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Knerd, I think so. The ones you had left were everyone has good inside of them and all pain must be quenched, right?
Yeah, I feel like I was doing the. I think it's felt like enough for me to have the like. You can get the opposite, right?
Yeah, like, no, it's if it's challenged, you also get the point.
Yeah, I think that everyone has good inside of them I felt like I did stuff.
And Talon, or sorry, no, you were not playing Talon, so how does this work again? What do you do for NPCs?
I guess Talon just played an NPC.
Yeah, but I want to know like if they can get influence for playing the NPC is what I'm interested in here. Player.
I think not.
I don't think you can. Yeah.
But for GM, we have every
Yeah,
message.
for the GM. So sorry, no influence for playing an NPC. I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about that. Because you're doing your thing. Elemental plane of wind. Every message is sacred. I think we definitely hit that. Laws are absolute. We definitely hit that. Everyone is connected. How do we feel about that?
Felt pretty connected.
I think we hit all three. So then everybody gets a point. So I get 3 more influence. Puts me up to 7. Okay.
All right.
And last things. Does anyone want to do an interlude before we wrap?
I will do an interlude.
I got one to do too.
Okay. So why don't we start? Do you have a question in mind, Maria?
I'm trying to figure out how to word it.
So why don't we do, Lou, do you have something in mind?
Yeah, so an interlude is just one of those quiet scenes, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to, can we just narrate something?
No, you do need to ask a question in some way.
Who do I ask the question of? Myself? Or you?
I don't think you can do it to yourself because I think 2 people have to be involved. So it would be, if I was asking you a question, I could get you in a scene by yourself doing that. But I don't think you can stage a scene for yourself.
Oh yeah, you're meant to set someone else up as
yeah.
Cool. Okay.
But I can do that. I can say, I'll give you a scene that would be like
yeah, I just had a little solo epilogue-ish scene.
Okay.
Now I'm trying to work out how to get somebody to see me doing it so that not to put myself in someone else's.
Since that's an epilogue thing, why don't we just
are we doing epilogues anyway?
We'll leave some room for epilogues. And
okay, cool.
Let's move to Maria's question here.
Okay. I think how does Massive cope with the backlash of everyone went to shit because the sentencing was wrong?
Yeah, so I think we see the body, the beautiful young man that Maziz was inhabiting. We see it collapsed in some alleyway in the hive, and the rats are coming for it. And we see a young girl, an urchin from the hive, who has the acicular marks on her body, and she jumps through a portal into a different plane. Yeah. So I think both of them get. Are we both clear harm?
I think it's just you because Algebar wasn't really involved in that scene.
No, I think you still get to clear it because you set it up for me. I think that's how that works. Yeah. I don't think it's the same as helping.
I mean, it doesn't matter because I don't think we're going into another scene.
Yeah. So. Okay. So let's do some epilogues then. So why don't we start with Algebar? What is the epilogue for Algebar? Where does Algebar go now that he has had victory over his parent?
I think he is in prison right now, but you see him sitting in prison, and I think the ley lines, he's just detecting what's going on around him, and and he knows that Mazis is fucking destroyed, so he's happy with that. And,
okay, so you're just scoping out the surroundings and meditating on your victory.
Yeah.
So that was the plan all along, right? That was the whole point of getting Honeysuckle to like murder
Yes.
like Hastafiel and stuff. Yeah.
cutting off your nose to spite your face kind of situation. Like, I'm in jail, but I don't care. I got my spite. My spite will keep me happy. Cool. I like it. All right. What about Knurd? What does the epilogue for Knurd look like?
Okay, so I think we see Knurd sitting in like his room up above. What was that bar called that we mentioned before? The
I don't know.
It's a bar. It's somewhere.
Yeah.
He's got a small room, and he's looking. He's sitting on his bed, and he's playing like his music, like what we've seen to be this empathic music, like at the mirror. And he's I think he's wiping out. He's quenching his own mental pain. He's getting rid of his everyone has good inside of them because it's causing him too much grief living in Sig. He can't handle it. And I like the idea. We see that removed, and he has his head down and he lifts up and he's got this kind of like weird smile on his face. And I like the idea. I was just looking at his he had this rival called Banat that never really came into the game that was also a Fnud and has the strength musical empath and famous and the weakness sadistic. I like perhaps he becomes Banat, like so he becomes this famous empathic musician, but he's completely like sadistic now that he doesn't have that thing that people have. I think if he doesn't think people have good inside of them, he's just like removing like any shit that's annoying from them from people at like any time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's appropriate because the connection there was Knurd and Algebar.
Yeah. Totally. He also doesn't drink anymore. Because he's not suffering anymore.
Yeah.
He also follows snakes apparently, so
yeah. Anyway,
cool.
That's my thing.
All right. And what about Talon?
So Talon has set up a little pottery studio in the back of the Temple of Eludra, and we see her like crouched over a turning wheel, massaging some clay and like crying and like trying to like shape honeysuckle into the clay, and she's like, can't forget, let's not ever forget honeysuckle.
Yeah. So like is Tomer in the scene at all? Or
no,
this is just a solitary thing.
Yeah, just a solitary thing. And I think she has this really deep embedded fear now of forgetting those that have passed, and but she's moved out of mum and dad's shop, so that's a good thing.
So noting that Honeysuckle wasn't actually her name, it's Riley.
Yeah, well, it's a name that she used.
Yeah, true, but like
Loki will have to remember that part.
I love how literally everyone everyone's life wasn't made worse by the Algebar, including Algebar.
Yeah.
Well, and I want to epilogue on Eludra. Eludra, because we had that prophetic dream, but it didn't come to pass yet. And I think it's probably a thing where we see like Eludra in the plane of ice, and like she's like looking at this. It's probably like a like a reflecting pool, like a one you would use for a mirror. And in it, she sees all these people who have passed away, who have been lost, and all these things that have been lost. But she looks at it sort of impassively, and she says, I saw the beauty in grief, but now I only see the passing of one thing into another. And you just see her like maybe it's like her hair tips and like the tips of her fingers are like starting to melt. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got to see her tears melting too, right? Because that was part of Honeysuckle's, like...
Oh my god, yes!
So good.
Total setting up for season 2.
You're right, yeah.
You're right.
Becomes a different goddess or something, yeah. She dies, or I don't know.
The god of the forgotten dead.
Yeah. Okay, so stars and wishes. Let's do some stars and wishes. So Ellen, do you want to start with a star?
Yeah, yes. A star to Luke. Your poor Canard is such a lovable character that you love them for their naivety, but then at the same time they're quite troubling themselves.
Yeah. That epilogue with Canard was awesome. So Lou, do you have a
yeah, I've got a star for you, Kyle, just for running the game for us, and because me and Ellen Ellen owns the book for this game, and it's one of those things, it's often hard to imagine, well, for me anyway, running a game if you haven't like played it before. So like that makes it like a step in the right direction for us to be able to like try playing it ourselves and just know some of the hurdles and that sort of thing. And you did a great job. Like, I could tell it was like hard work at times, like trying to like do it, but it's great. Like I just love playing with you. So yes, 1 star for you. Boop.
Thank you. I hope you get a chance to play it again in the future. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Maria, do you have a star?
I have a star for, I want to say Ellen. My star is for Ellen. Like I I know my last star was, it's pretty much related to my last star. Like I gave my last star to Sid for letting me basically bully Honeysuckle. This one is for Ellen for pretty much doing the same thing but with Talan. But it's less letting me do bad things to you guys. It's more like going along with, like,
yeah, maybe like helping you realize your horrible algebra.
Well, he didn't do that. He didn't realize he was horrible. It's just everyone.
Oh no, not
worse.
Not realize in the sense that you got to play it out.
Yeah. I think. In that way, yeah, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you shared really the spotlight, right?
Yeah. It's like, here, have questions, hard questions, and like, okay, here's how, like, I like how you react to my questions.
Yeah.
And pretty much it directed at everyone at this point. Because it's like, wow. All right.
I would like to give a star to Ellen also because I really appreciate you being an advocate for Sid, even though Sid was in absentia. So that was
I loved that as well.
That was really good play.
Mm.
Very considerate.
Yeah, I was trying to be like careful still and like and loving about how we treated his character like when he wasn't here anyway. So it was kind of ironic that I potentially like bought something like so strongly into it that like he potentially could have X-carded. But yeah, that was great, Ellen. Thanks for that. Yeah. Because I figured he might want to watch or something. Hi Sid, if you're still here, we love you.
We're sorry we killed Honeysuckle, but they were the central character, so it was expedient.
Well, to be fair, I think she got like the best fate out of literally everyone.
And I was also thinking it was if you're sentenced to go to another plane, right? I just remember reading about Russian funerals when people were going to Siberia, and they often had the funeral like when the person was leaving because it was just couldn't make it. So we might not actually have there was a funeral, but maybe not necessarily a death. So that's room open for the second season still.
Yeah. Good call. Good call.
We didn't see the execution, therefore we don't know.
Yes. Okay, cool. And let's do some wishes. So I'll start with a wish. This is pretty simple, but I wish that I'll be able to run more games for Hangouts in the future. It's going to be a long time from now, probably, but I hope that at some point in the future I'll be able to run games on Hangouts again because, you know, like you were saying, it's a great way to contribute to the community and to get people to play new games and also to get to play with new people. So those are all really good things, and I would like to see more of that. So that's my wish. What about Maria?
My wish. I feel like I wish I had less spotlight or less influence.
Oh, really? That I loved it.
Yeah, that was a star for me.
Like, I'm not sure. Like it maybe. If you guys want another wish, I can say another wish. Or I can think.
You can wish whatever you want to.
Yeah, I mean,
I loved you like when you were spotlighting. So don't.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I don't want you to feel like you had too much, but like it's exactly. Keep your wish.
It does sometimes make you feel self-conscious when you are being such a driving. Like if your character's driving so much or has like caused such a big direction, like I was feeling a bit like that when I played with Kyle the other night when we played Blades in the Dark, because I'd come back into the game from having 2 sessions off, and I was like, I felt like I needed to be a little bit pushy. I'm like, no, this score's going to be about like my stuff, like to get into the game, and like it's often really fun when somebody does drive it like that, I think. So I get that it can feel like it can, and I think it's good to be aware of that so that you don't like do it all the time. But I don't think you do that. Like I've watched you playing games, and it's not something that you always do. Sometimes somebody's just got to like do it, and it's fun.
Yeah, you push the whole like murder mystery angle like very well. So you gave us a story to tell, you know, so I appreciate that. Yeah.
All right. In that case, I wish I could play some more SIG.
You can make it happen.
I can. I still have stuff to schedule for Monday and in July, so I could.
All right. Lou, do you have a wish?
That was funny when I was talking about your wish then, Maria, about having the like spotlight or stuff, I started to get self-conscious about talking too much during your wish. I'm like, oh my god, I'm talking and Maria's wish. I was just thinking about Gauntlet Con and stuff. It's kind of a broader wish beyond the scope of the game, I guess, that I'm excited about this project that I'm working on at the moment. That's like a map drawing, like dungeon crawl fun game thing, and talking about playtesting at Gauntlet Con. That's a really nice length for me to a distance to plan for, like play testing it well, like having more than a Word document to do it in. So I'm excited about that. That's good. My wish.
Yeah, nice. And Ellen, do you have a wish?
Yeah, like Maria, I really want to play this game. I want to be able to like feel the rules more naturally. It was at last Gauntlet Con, I got to play with Jason, and yeah, it was because he has that such like in-depth knowledge of his own game.
Yeah.
He was really able to like direct us and yeah, it's such a fun game, and I really enjoyed our session, and I'm really spewing that we had to cancel that one episode, and if we weren't all ridiculously busy, it would be great to squeeze another game in, but I don't know how possible that is because this story's so fun. Yeah, and just a bit of another wish is this game was so much fun that I had a really hard time like keeping a lid on like because there's so many ideas that come. It's like, no, Ellen, just like let other people talk and listen, and you know that's all part of it too. Just because there's so much going on, I had a hard time like sitting back sometimes. But thank you for being patient with me, everyone.
Not at all.
I do have another wish, and is I want to play some more with the Aspect group because I keep hearing amazing things, and I did play it here, and it was amazing! Yay! So I want to play some more with you guys.
For sure. Yeah, I'd like to play more with you as well.
Like, it's just, if only we weren't living literally across the world.
Yeah, thanks for participating in this from across the planet. It's
I know, right? Thanks.
Yeah.
What time is it there, Maria?
It's 11:15.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
PM.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in the future. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. This is the conclusion of the series, and I think we wrapped it up pretty nicely. Even though our characters were all miserable. All right. So I'm going to stop the broadcast here. Bye.